Hi, thanks so much for joining in. You're watching Ask Profit. My name is Mathew, and with me is Smriti, Chaudhary, and we'll take you through the next half an hour or so of trade. This show is geared towards getting you answers to all of your stock-related questions, and to that end, if you've got those for us, you can send them to us on any one of our social media platforms, or in fact on the number that you see at the bottom of your screen. Let's take a look at where the markets are right now, though. And in fact, you've seen a recovery from the low point of the day, but narrow trade for the benchmark Nifty 50, just about 0.25% or so in the green right now, and trading above the 23,300 level as things stand. There was a sigh of relief once you saw all of that information on who got which portfolio. That came, of course, overnight. And I think the street will have taken heart from the fact that there is continuity on the policy front, and all of the core portfolios have been retained by ministers that have led the charge over the last several years, not least of which was the appointment of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, as well as the Home Minister, the Defence Minister, and several other key portfolios. The broader markets are looking sanguine at this point, and let's pull up the mid-cap index. It's up as much as 0.9%, and you have the small-cap 250 index that's up as much as 0.8%, and that means that the gains that you've seen in the recent past have extended in trade today. Understandably, therefore, you have the advance decline ratio, or the market breadth, that is tilted very firmly in favor of the advances, with nearly 3 gainers for every loser on the screen right now on the NSE. Among the sectors, you have quite a few of them that are gaining in trade right now, but the gains are led by the realty index, which is up as much as 1.3%. The Nifty Finance is just about just about flat right now, and the bank Nifty as well, trading just about flat, unchanged, but in the green. The other gainers include auto as a pack, as well as metal and oil and gas. But there's one stock that we're focusing on at the start, and that's Hindustan Construction Company, or HCC. It's up and about in trade today, and there is in fact a significant development to talk about. To tell you about why the stock is buzzing and up over 10% even as we speak, I'm joined by Anushi. Anushi, what's the key development here?
Hey Alex, so as you mentioned, Hindustan Construction Company is in focus today. The stock has gained over 14% in today's trade. Now this is after Elara Capital has initiated a buy call on the stock with a target price set at about ₹63, which implies about a 65% of an upside. So they've given some set of key reasons as to why they're bullish on the stock. One is that they are now seeing it as a company which is poised to reclaim its last glory after the 10-year slog that they've had. Now, this is post the debt restructuring done in the company, the dispute settlement, as well as the non-core asset monetization. So, from here onwards, the focus shift to the company's financial health improving going forward. Now, even if you look at the company's current capacity, 26% of hydropower capacity and 60% share of India's civil nuclear power, which strengthens its position to capture the 1.5 trillion nuclear opportunity going forward. And again, the company remains a strong play on the India's infra opportunity as well. On the other side also, if you look at the debt burden has also started to come down, which is another added plus for the company going forward. Now with this, they expect a standalone revenue and EBITDA CAGR of 20% between the periods of FY24 to 27, with an earnings CAGR growth of about 50%. So on one side, while we have the valuation triggers wherein the target inflows that they're targeting of ₹100 billion by FY25 and consolidated net worth expected to turn positive by FY26, on the key risk side, what remains on a watch out is the inability to bag order inflows with increasing competition in the industry that they are facing, which may curb their growth. That is what Elara believes. And another is the delay in recovery of the arbitration awards, which can derail its repayment obligations going forward. But still, based on these, what we are seeing is the 65% upside, which is why the stock is reacting in trade today.
Fair point. Anushi, thanks so much for joining in and giving us that perspective. We're joined by Astha Jain, Senior Research Analyst at HAME Securities, and Swati Hotkar, AVP Technical Research at Nirmal Bang. Thank you so much to the both of you for joining in. Astha, a tough company to talk about, because at one point of time, I think a lot of investors had given up on HCC, but now the prospects are looking better, to say the least. There are still challenges. So what would you say about whether or not investors should get into the stock right now?
Good afternoon. Talking about this counter, although we are also positive on this counter, but our price target is somewhat restricted. First of all, 48, and then at the max 54 is what we can give target to this counter. So talking about the fundamentals, yes, the financial performance was average, but what is the major highlight of this financial performance was that the reduction of the debt, because it was somewhere at around 4,500 crore, and now it has been significantly reduced to 1,700 crore. This is long-term borrowings which I'm talking about, and I'm comparing FY24 borrowings to FY23 borrowings. So yes, there is a significant reduction in the borrowing. First of all, and secondly, the order backlog is very strong. 10,000 crores of order backlog is what they are showing in their presentation. And this is almost 1.6 times of the earnings which or the sales which they have posted in FY24. So yes, order backlog is very strong. So this gives a strong revenue visibility going ahead. So looking after all these parameters, that strong revenue visibility along with the reduction in the debt, the counter is looking good to us, but we really need to see how the company will perform in the coming quarter. So yes, we are positive on the counter, but our price target is restricted to 48 to 52 or 54 at the max at present moment of time.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Asta, for that. So not as high of a price target as Elara has given, 44 to 48. Let's start off with the queries now. The first one is on a counter called Wheeler Estate. This one's from Sastamani from Coimbatore. They say they're already holding the counter. And I'm coming to you, Swati, on this one. They say, while we don't know the buy price here, they say they're sitting on a loss of 15%. Do you see an upside in this counter going forward?
The overall technical setup is not showing very much attractive on the front side. The daily and the weekly chart suggest that it is in the sideways momentum. So any rise can be utilized to exit the long positions. I do not suggest to hold on for a longer term perspective.
I just want to point out, in case you've been following this case of the NEET fiasco, where purportedly one of the students claimed discrepancies in the 2024 scoring and had received a tone answer sheet. The Supreme Court has said that the sanctity of the exam seems to have been affected, so it needs an answer on that. The case will be taken up next on the 8th of July. And counselling for the seats is set to continue. That is the latest update. Of course, we will get you more context, and I would encourage you to check out the website ndtvprofit.com and ndtv.com as well for all the latest updates there. The next question we're taking is from Naman. He's writing in from Delhi and asking about Hindustan Unilever and whether it can be bought at the current market price for the next 10 years. It's a long time frame, Asta, and in the context of what we've been speaking about, the possibility of the government stepping in and boosting consumption, particularly in the rural areas, we saw some bit of action earlier on last week in these consumption counters. HUL, would you buy at this point?
So yes, what we are thinking is that now the government will have a strong focus on the rural areas, as we have seen what the results have signaled, election results. So definitely now the government will have a strong focus on the rural areas, especially farmers. And I think in that way, if we can see some sort of a rise in their income, as well as we are predicting strong monsoon. So, these both factors will really help in generating more rural demand, which is really suppressed at present moment of a time. So in that context, I think all the FMCG players are looking strong to us, but especially talking about HUL, it is looking good to us, recommending hold on this counter, not a buy at present moment of a time. Maybe we would like to see some more dips and then we will take a buy call. But yes, someone, if have this portfolio in their portfolio, then definitely they can keep a hold on this with a price target of 2,700 to 2,750.
The next one we have is a Star Health Insurance. This one's from Montu Patel. They say they want to know the target on this counter. Now, Swati, I'm going to come to you on this one. The stock hasn't done anything in the last 1 year. Do you see that changing in the near future?
Yes, you rightly pointed out that from the last 2 years, the stock is not performing since 2022. We have seen a sharp correction from 720 onwards towards to 480 levels. But as of now, the stock is not showing any kind of a reversals from the last few months. It's facing a very strong resistance at around 550 levels. Unless and until it doesn't cross that level, I will not suggest to take a long positions or positive momentum cannot be seen into the market. But yes, for the any long positions, one can wait. If you are getting any dips towards to 480, one can add on. As of now, the stock is just trading nearby its oversold zone. So we might see some pullback rally or say the short-term pullback rally, which might take a counter towards to 550. Any more about that level, we'll see the witness of the fresh long positions for an immediate target of 600 to 620. So hold on for a long positions, but don't add on at the current market price.
At the current market price on Star Health is the view. The next counter we're taking is on ABFRL, and this is Satya's question. He's holding on to 40% gains on this counter, and it's done pretty well in the recent past. If you remember, in fact, we can pull up the chart just to give you a sense of how it's done in 2024 so far. It's currently up about 1.8%. He's saying that he can hold for 1 to 2 years, but I'll come back to you, Swati, on this one. Should he do so, or should he book some profits?
I will suggest to hold on this particular counter, Alex, because the longer term horizon is definitely positive in this particular stock. In the last 6 to 7 months, the stock was under the consolidation phase, and once it manages to give the breakout levels with the very decent value, we have seen a very good rally from almost 250 to now towards 340 and so forth. I believe that the stock is just trading near its all-time high levels, and it's on the verge of giving the breakout of the same levels. Since he is holding for a longer duration, I will suggest to keep it long positions, but if possible, try to maintain the stop losses. As of now, that stop loss comes near by 280 levels. So you can hold on the profit stop loss of 280, and you can carry the long positions for a coming 2 years and looking for a target of 500 levels of the high side.
All right. The next counter is Genus Paperboard. Now, a small company, about 500 crore market cap. The questions from Kranti, they say they bought the shares at a price of 23 rupees. It's currently below that price. Swati, would you suggest holding on to this counter? How does it look on the charts?
The chart doesn't look attractive much on this particular counter. It's just trading in the consolidation phase. If you look towards the last 1 or 2 years data, it got stuck within the range of 70 to 23 levels. A breakout on either side will decide the clear trend of this particular counter. I will suggest to hold on, but maintain the strict stop loss of 18 rupees on a downside. And if the stock manages to give the breakout of 24 levels, then upside momentum can be seen up to 30 to 32 levels. So as of now, it's just trading nearby the support level. So hold with the strict stop loss of 18 rupees on a downside.
Okay, lots happening with Tata Motors, not least of which is what they are doing on the standalone business, but also the recovery that you've seen for Jaguar Land Rover in the earnings in the fourth quarter. We've got a question from Sri Kishore Sharma. He's writing in from Motihari in Bihar, and he's holding on to Tata Motors that has been bought at very close to 950 levels, and he's thinking of holding for as many as 3 years. He's got 100 shares. What's the view though? Asa, what can he expect? It's trading lower than his buy price because the stock has gone up quite substantially. From the perspective of 3 years here, though, would you hold on?
Yes, definitely hold on, because the way JLR has been performing, it is very, looking very strong on the charts as well as on the financial performance front. So yes, JLR is performing very strongly, and I think the ramp up of more production will definitely help the company to show strong financial performance going ahead. Along with that, the kind of deleveraging the company is going on, it is again an added benefit to the company, and really an adding advantage to the stock price also. So we are positive on this counter, recommending a hold as well as buy on dip strategy can also be applied. However, our price target at the initial level is 1,050 to 1,100.
All right, now it's time for a short break. Now we bring you an exclusive conversation my colleague from NDTV Vasudha Venugopal had with the new Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu. Listen in and we'll be right back.
I'm very, very super excited. I always knew that this ministry had a lot of scope and potential, and that was reiterated by Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji after a cabinet meeting. Also, he had a one-to-one small meeting with me, and he said that, see, you are one of the youngest of the lot today, and this is one of the most promising ministries, and it's a ministry which has a global eyes on it. So you have to take charge of this, and you have to explore new ways of in this civil aviation sector. So I felt supercharged after having that discussion, and I'm really excited to take this forward. And like you've said, I already have 10 years experience behind me. Like, people might think that I'm a very young MP right now today, but definitely I have 10 years of parliament experience. So I'm going to utilize that also and try to do wonders in this ministry.
Yes, Mr. Naidu, also the sector has seen a lot of challenges in the past few years, with respect to passengers and with respect to airlines. I know this is just the first day, but briefly, can you tell us what is your vision?
That is always a priority, to take care of the passengers sector also. And like you said, that creates a lot of, it takes the public eye most of the time. And I would say that, see, being a passenger myself also, you kind of want those small, even if it's a very small thing when you're going to the airport or traveling through the airlines, whatever small problems that you have, you want the minister or the ministry to take care of it. So we are going to create a system where those kind of grievances also get addressed, and we are going to make sure that the customer satisfaction is also a top priority.
Right, and what about the airlines? They do also have some complaints.
Yes, so regarding these things, I think it's better if I comment once I have these discussions with them or the review meetings. So I still have to take charge. My priority right now is to make Chandrababu Naidu ji as the Chief Minister. So he's swearing in tomorrow. So I'm really excited for that also. So once that finishes, I'm going to take charge as Civil Aviation Minister.
My last question to you, sir. How is the TDP feeling about this? Because we heard that you could be wanting other ministries, given that Amravati is a priority, Polavaram is a priority. Getting civil aviation, which is basically a repeat of what you had. Yes. How does the party feel about this?
First thing is we have supported the NDA unconditionally. So, and we are sticking by it. And regarding the ministry, we are very happy with it. I want to make that statement clear. And even Chandrababu Naidu ji, he is also very, very interested in this ministry. Also, we have a lot of airports in our state, and especially if you ask me, I have an airport coming right next to my constituency. So I have a lot to gain from this ministry also. On top of that, you said that there are other things which Andhra also needs right now. Let's say probably building of capital, Amravati, Polavaram project and all. See, now being a cabinet minister, you have access to all other ministries also. You have those good relations, you have the approach now to all those ministries. So our own target, whichever ministry we get, you are looking at one department. But the whole idea is to have those relations with other ministries and try to get the best. So that would have been done with any ministry that we are handling. So we are not looking at it in a negative way. And I think it's a very good ministry to have right now for the state of Andhra Pradesh. And we are going to take it step by step. And if you consider that we already have an MOS with us, and he is also taking care of ministries like rural development and communications. So we are very satisfied right now.
Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. We're joined by two experts, Astha Jain of Hem Securities and Swati Hotkar of Nirmal Bang. Let's dive into the queries again. This one's on Tejas Networks. This is an intraday play. They bought the counter at a higher, at elevated levels actually, 1,387 rupees. Swati, I'm going to come to you on this one. The counter is about over 7% higher right now, but it's it is right. It's still below the buy price. Do you see this kind of continuing gaining through the day, considering this is an intraday play? What should the viewer do? And this is from Rosemary.
Okay, if you look towards purely on an intraday trade, as of now, the stock is up by almost more than 7. And the stock they have bought at a very high levels. But on the intraday basis, the stock has formed a cluster supports nearby 1360 level. So as long as it's hold that support level, we might witness some more upside momentum, which might take the stocks towards to 1420 to 1430. So upside is there still now, as long as the stock holds the support of 1360. So purely on intraday basis, he can hold the long positions, but maintain the strict stop loss of 1360. For immediate target will be a 1400 and about at level 1420 can be seen.
Vishakha has got the next question asking about Infosys and the IT pack in general. How long will it take for the stocks to go up? That's actually a good question because barring a couple of days where they've outperformed, they have actually been languishing. And the question really is about a turnaround in the story on the fundamentals. But the question is for less than a year. Astha, she has accumulated Infosys at an average price of 1,477.34. Very specific here, but she's in the green. Should she hold on for less than a year? Is there likely to be a turnaround in less than a year?
Not exactly turnaround, maybe, but some upside can be seen. So she will get the better prices to get out from the stock. This is what I believe. So yes, right now we are recommending hold on this counter, and the same advice goes with her also. A hold with a price target of 1550 to 1580 at the current level. So talking about Infosys in particular, we are expecting some sort of improvement in the discretionary demand area, where the right now, that is affecting the financials of the company, and that really need to be seen. In fact, all the companies, all the management in their commentaries are talking about that how the client demand is going on right now. So we really need to see what their commentaries are, but I think it will take another few months, maybe 6 months or 8 months, of time period where we can see some sort of improvement in the demand. So right now we are recommending hold on this counter, keeping in view that not a higher upside can be seen, but still 1580 can be seen. So a hold, and she can make profit while exiting at these levels of around 1580.
Right. The next query is from Akshay. They say they bought Exide Industries at a price of 481 rupees. Considerable profit there. They want to know the long-term view on this. Astha, Exide Industries and even Amara Raja Batteries, we've seen these two counters run up quite a bit in the last couple of sessions. And fundamentally, also there are some positive news flows around these battery makers. Do you see these two counters, how do you see these two counters doing in the longer term, and would you suggest buying Amara Raja at this juncture?
Not buying Amara Raja at this juncture because we are expecting some sort of more downside in the counter. So I think these are not the right level to make an entry into the counter. But yes, talking about Exide at the same time, Exide is looking good to us because they are now into the EV. They are focusing more on EV batteries manufacturing. So that is one point. And in fact, whatever capex the company is doing, it is purely through internal accruals. So the balance sheet is in the good shape. So we are expecting this counter to show more upside from the current level. So recommending a hold on Exide, but not a buy on Amara Raja battery, because we are expecting more downside on the Amara Raja battery. For Exide, our price target at the present moment of a time is 570.
Okay. Swati, just confirming, will you be able to give options advice on ONGC? No, I think you're on mute, possibly.
Alex, I'm a technical analyst.
Yeah, fair point. Okay.
This is on ONGC, but on a technical spot, I can give the support and the resistance levels. So the view is definitely positive, but its short-term this cuttings at around 275. The stocks gives the breakout of that level. Then we can see the upside towards to 285 to 290 levels. So anyone if having a long position, they can hold on by as long as the stock sustains about 260 levels.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So just buy and buy. We've got Sambit, who's got a June call, 262.5, and he's paid an 11.5 premium. All right, let's move to the next one.
The next one is for Astha. Now, this one's from Vamshi, who's writing in from Hyderabad. They want a suggestion on what chemical and pharma stocks should they buy at this juncture. Would you suggest getting into chemicals at this point, Astha?
Not exactly, but I think we would like to see some more quarters to be in the good shape, because what we were seeing since last few quarters, especially I should say last 1 year, the chemical companies were not able to perform strongly, especially agrochemical company, because the global demand are not working in the favor, and some sort of destocking of inventories were also happening. So all these things were contributing to the lower financial performance. So right now, not very much positive on the chemical stocks as in such. Maybe we would like to see 1 or 2 more quarters of the good results, and then we will make some view. So this is on the chemical stocks we are holding a view right now.
Names? Any pharma names that you're constructive on?
Yes. Sorry, I missed the other question. Yes. Regarding the pharma, yes, we are positive on 1 or 2 pharma counters, especially Ajanta Pharma. The kind of numbers this company has posted, it was phenomenal. Although the company has seen a sharp downside, but I think these are the good opportunities to make our entry into the counter. So Ajanta Pharma is looking good to us. We are recommending buy on this counter with a price target of 2,500 to 2,550. So in the pharma space, Ajanta Pharma as well as Cipla, I mean, these 2 counters are looking good to us.
Asa, thanks so much for that view. Swati as well, thank you so much for joining in and giving the advice that you did. Viewers, that brings us to the end of this particular edition of Ask Profit. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing it to you from Smriti and myself and the team that put the show together. Thank you so much for watching. Do stay tuned. This is NDTV Profit.
welcome. This is Hot Money. I'm Agam Vakil, and in this show we take you through all the stocks which are buzzing in trade. But before that, a quick look at the markets. For now, we are looking at a 0.25% advance for the Nifty, and the Bank Nifty advancing by just as much, pardon me. Well, so it's been another quiet day of trade. We are looking at consolidation on the indices. The Nifty hovering around 23,300. And that is, once again, perhaps on expected lines. What really is the big takeaway here is that volatility has come off. We are, in fact, looking at another 8% decline in the India Volatility Index as we speak. So that's another big positive. The key takeaway here is that, we are, in fact, looking at the dust settling. A lot of parameters with respect to volatility coming off as well, and we also have consolidation not just in the benchmarks but also in several stocks and sectors, if not a little bit of recovery since that big cut that we saw on the 4th of June. Well, a week forward, and we are looking at stability in stock prices across the markets. And in fact, we have also seen a resumption of outperformance in your broader market indices. That would include something like mid-cap index, which is up as much as 0.1%, and the small-cap index, which is also up and about by just as much. That's as far as your broader markets go. In terms of the key movers there, let's also very quickly take a look at where we're seeing, an increase as far as the benchmark is concerned. Again, a 90-point up move countered by a 25-point decline. Along with that, we have Reliance Industries and Kotak Mahindra Bank to a certain extent countering the strength that is, on account of L&T and a handful of names there. It's been a very quiet day of trade. Even in terms of some of your, big movers as far as your broader markets are concerned. And of course, the broader markets are doing slightly better than the benchmarks. But, to give you a roundup, firstly, of the gainers on the broader markets, we have GMR Airports, which is up 6.5%. And, there is this infra theme which is once again coming back to the fore. Besides that, Poonawalla FinCorp is also up and about. We have a change at the helm, and that's up around 4.2%, 4.1%. So along with that, of course, we're also keeping an eye on RVNL and Oil India. The oil and gas sector in general has started to move, and of course, notwithstanding the minister, that's the Hardeep Singh Puri, who's going to be taking over the ministry as well. And of course, we're going to have several more developments, a lot of anticipation, a lot of expectations as well with respect to this specific sector. But, let's move on and talk about all the stocks that we are going to consider in trade today in this show. So we have Hindustan Construction, we have Tata Motors in focus. Along with that, something like an Interglobe Aviation. We are taking up IRB Infra as well. And we're also going to be talking about KC. Now, to take us through all of this is Raghvendra Kedia. He's the founder of Prosperity Advisors. Raghvendra, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining in. Before I come to you, let's take up the first stock which is on our radar, and that's HCC. We have Anushi joining us to give us the latest. I believe we have a broking note here. Anushi, what do you have for us?
Hey Agam, so Hindustan Construction Company, that is HCC, has gained over 14% in stock in trade today. Now, a couple of reasons. First is Elara Capital initiating a buy coverage over here with a target price set at rupees 63, which implies a 65% of a upside compared to its yesterday's closing price. So they have given a list of reasons as to why they're bullish on the stock. First is they believe that it is poised to reclaim its last glory. So if we are to consider the last year 10-year period, they were in a slog. So from this period onwards, they are expecting improvement in their financial health going forward. This is after the debt restructuring, the dispute settlement, and the monetization of non-core assets which has taken place. So from now on, the focus shift to the financials of the company. And apart from this, even if you look at the kind of capacity, it has 26% of hydropower capacity and 60% share in India's civil nuclear power, which again, if you have to consider the 1.5 trillion nuclear opportunity, it has a strong hold over here. On this other side, if we look at the debt burden has started to come down for the company, which is another factor which adds is an added advantage for the company. But now if you look at the financials, they expect a standalone revenue and EBITDA CAGR growth of about 20% during the FY24 to 27 period, along with an earnings CAGR growth of 50% going forward. Now on the valuation triggers, what I have given is there. Along with this, they have a target inflow of about 100 billion rupees in FY25, which remains on a watch out. On the key risk side, though, any inability to bag order inflows with the increasing competition remains on a watch out. Along with this, if there is a delay in the recovery of arbitration awards, that could derail the company's repayment obligations going forward. So these are the key risks and the number of bullish reasons that we are seeing, and due to which Elara sees about 65% return going forward for the company.
Well, and the company certainly has dealt with a lot of risk. Anushi, thank you so much for getting us those updates. But the question really is that can a recovery come and be in store for something like an HCC? Raghvendra, welcome to the show. What's your opinion on this particular counter?
Good afternoon, Agam. Good afternoon, NDTV Profit. Broadly, HCC